Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of KPW War Zone. It is I, Tapey Styles, calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And as the winter steadily approaches, so does our final monthly special event of the year, Toxicity, live on December 27th. At 9/8 Central, right here on the Team Adhesive Broadcasting Network. And last week we saw that championship contender battle royale unfold before our very eyes. A plethora of strong, hungry, credible challengers ready to step up to the Siberian Silver Bear. But only one man walked away with that chance. That opportunity. We're of course talking about the star attraction, Pierre Cinema, as he steadily approaches his next big fight, the next major challenge for Pando, and quite a tumultuous championship reign, and we're gonna be getting some more word from him here later on tonight. But what is still to come on tonight's program? Simply championship opportunities. A Twitch Championship Contender in our main event of the evening under triple threat rules. We'll be seeing the role model, we'll be seeing hard boiled, we'll be seeing the mastermind of the First Nation, Tape, Kabuki, Shuko in the main event. But still to come later on in the evening, the other half of the First Nation, the War Machine, Slardy, will be engaging in some serious combat with the King of Stego Style, Cory Sinclair, for the very first time since August of 2024. We will see if time has healed any wounds between these two men. It is not likely to be the case after what we saw unfold outside the ring in the closing moments of that battle royale last week. But Cory Sinclair, he has been on a hot streak as of late. Slardy, Shuko, they've been making quite the name for themselves from the moment they joined forces as the First Nation. And a victory here tonight for Slardy could seriously raise their stock. And speaking of raising the stocks, look no further than Bunker Hill, K-Dogg and Solo, as they'll be going up in tag team action against Frank Glizzo, Hugo Johnson, otherwise known as the Coney Island X-Prezz. These four youngsters are gonna scrap it down in the squared circle later on tonight. K-Dogg, Solo, hoping to get one step closer to tag team championship glory once again. They're gonna have to wait for the scheme to get their crack at the gold first, as they won that last week on Warzone, and they'll be going up against the Murder Hornets at Toxicity. But nevertheless, Bunker Hill is definitely in a great spot. They are definitely in a great position because their cohort, the Heartthrob, was able to bring home some championship gold last week. We're of course talking about the Heartthrob Popo becoming our new KPW American champion. And Bunker Hill is looking to add more titles to their collection. But speaking of championships, speaking of opportunities, let's talk about opportunities that were stripped away, ladies and gentlemen. because Nick Flawless, Greek Machismo, a man that was slated to be in that Battle Royal last week, jumped before he can make it down to the ring, not just by Josue, but by Oliver English. And these two will be settling the score here and now. Before we get to ringside, I understand we have some cameras rolling backstage where we have two principal members of Parliament on standby. Let's see what this is all about.
Josue, I have to admit, I never thought things were ever gonna be this way. We've been struggling to gain control for so long, and it seems like our monarch has lost a bit of focus. Our goal was always about the great vision, but it really does feel like he's getting further and further away from his goals.
His vision. It's getting blurry as of late. I'm here because he cut me a deal, and you know that. The man is desperate for power. He couldn't win the world title with or without our help. He's got eyes on the American Championship because it's another reason for him to stick it to America. He let Bunker Hill get away with their plans of sabotaging US. And that's the keyword we should focus on. USA. We can't let him put our livelihoods at risk with his actions. But we can try to steer the ship right and get him back on track. The methods are used there to do his bidding. That leaves me and you. So let's make this work whether it fits his vision or not.
I still want the best for our vision. He just needs to vent out some frustrations, and Nick is gonna be the perfect test monkey for the job. And Josue, thank you for your concerns.
Cory rushing to the side of the Monarch as he prepares to wage war here tonight on War Zone. Parliament very much still a house divided as they struggle to find any semblance of solidarity. And what the hell is this? Nick Flawless rushing in from the crowd, looking to use some guerrilla tactics to his advantage here. Oliver English, he's a spry spring chicken here, ladies and gentlemen. He has quite the sharp wit. He's a snake with a silver tongue. For better or for worse, and it's certainly been for the worse of the KPW locker room at large. He's been using that wit to maintain some serious control here in KPW. Romero stretch courtesy of the Monarch. Nick Flawless trying to take Oliver English by surprise. And it seems like that plan has very momentarily foiled. Get tossed countered by Oliver English. Nick Flawless puts the boot up. Running high knee. Following up with a clothesline. And that's just one of the things that makes Oliver English so dangerous in the ring. His technical wizardry. Bridging German suplex, and look at the angle, look at the hip work of the Monarch. Nick Flawless he's gonna need to take it back to fundamentals. He is not wrestling within his usual boundaries here tonight. we would come to expect a very old school, very scientific match between these two, and that is not the case whatsoever. What we saw unfold just last week, we know that Oliver English was looking to jump Nick Flawless. So then Josue, who was already a willing participant and an accomplice to the act, he was looking to give up his championship contender spot to the Monarch so he could fast pass his way back into another world title shot. And the board of directors very quickly, very swiftly shut that one down. The fall attempt by Nick Flawless, trying to hook the leg, but Oliver English is up before the referee can even get his hand down on the mat here. Count of one for that German suplex. Stereo German suplexes. Oliver English, we're gonna go for a diving fist drop, but Nick Flawless was just a bit out of range. A heavy-handed chop from Greek Machismo as this action spills to the outside. Nick Flawless ramming Oliver English's head into the apron. One of the hardest parts of the ring. And look at the angle on that backdrop. Oliver English, just when you think Nick Flawless could shift the momentum, turn the tides back into his favor, Oliver English is just right there with something to keep Greek Machismo underneath his thumb. And what a stiff right shot from Nick Flawless. Flawless looking to soar high here, but Oliver English shakes the top rope. Nick Flawless lost his balance, and now Oliver English looks to capitalize once again. Drop kick from Nick Flawless. He's looking to move in. Irish whip, Manhattan drop. And think of the diverse backgrounds that we are dealing with in this bout here tonight. Oliver English, of course, representing the UK, representing England. Wearing his heart on his sleeves. By his sleeves, I mean his pads and his trunks. Nick Flawless, of course, from Greece. Real clash of styles here tonight as Oliver English rakes the eyes of Nick Flawless. Another underhanded tactic from the Monarch as he drills that knee right into the groin of his opponent here tonight. Irish whip reversal. Another Manhattan drop by Nick Flawless, looking to even the score here. He's looking to soar high. Flawless elbow. And I think that just woke up Oliver English. I think the reality, the gravity of this situation is beginning to settle in here. Oliver English raking the eyes of Nick Flawless along that top rope. And now he goes to single out the arm of Nick Flawless, try to take out that Flawless elbow, make sure he can't hit that a second time. And what a counter from Oliver English, and what a counter by Nick Flawless. Tombstone pile driver, lateral press, cover. And Oliver English just barely beats a 2 count. We're gonna go for another tombstone, and Nick has the answer to it once again here. Cover.
1, 2.
Nick Flawless really starting to adopt a death by 1,000 cut strategy against the Monarch. Oliver English perhaps underestimating Greek Machismo throughout this bout. He's looking to turn up the heat.
One, two.
Lateral press cover, and Nick Flawless is up at 2. Shoulder tackle attempt by Oliver English, but he gets taken down by Nick. It's like a damn car wreck out here. Nick Flawless seems to be locking eyes with Tori on the outside. Headlock takeover. Nick Flawless looking to continue with a flurry of strikes. Nick going up top here. Flawless elbow. Cover.
1, 2. Count 2.
Oh. Oliver English just barely beats the count. Looks like Oliver English, he's starting to try and create some distance. It looked like he was trying to hold on to that top rope just to keep his balance sorted out. Diving fist drop from the second rope. Running face crusher. Nick Flawless, he's in the driver's seat. Singling out the leg of Oliver English now. Trying to slow down the Monarch. Tombstone pile driver from Oliver English, following up with another fist drop from the second rope. Drop kick from Nick. Picks him back up. Making a big pile driver. Folding him up like an accordion. Action spilling to the outside. Tori keeping the referee distracted. Not able to get in that crucial 20 count. What the hell is Nick Flawless thinking here? We're gonna dive down to the floor. Double axe handle. Nick Flawless looking to follow things up with a plancha. And now it's Oliver English taking back control of the ring here. Suplex attempted, but Oliver reverses it, and what a nasty landing for Greek Machismo. Getting lifted over that rope and down to that unforgiving floor. And Flawless. Trying to restrain Tori here, but Oliver English, he intervened for his business associate. The lead recruit for Parliament after all these months. Flawless trying to endanger Cory on the outside here, and Oliver English. This might be one of the most noble things we've seen him do in quite some time. But who knows what his true intentions may be. And Flawless, we're gonna play a little bit of mind games here. Oliver English.
One,
Sunset flip.
three, pinfall.
And Nick Flawless has nobody else to blame but himself. He took his eye off the prize. He kept his focus down at such an inopportune moment. Just when you thought he had full control of this bout, once again, full tilt. And he had the steering wheel in the palm of his hands. Josue rushing down to the ring, making another intervention. Keeping good on his word. Oliver English, he's already halfway up the ramp at this point. He didn't give a damn if Cory was gonna keep being pursued by Greek Machismo. And here lies Josue, 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire, rushing down the aisleway to neutralize the threat. Nick Flawless picked a bad night to try and get his revenge on Oliver English. And it still seems like things between Oliver English and Josue, they might share a common enemy here tonight, but they are certainly not on the same page. Not by a long shot. And we heard the statements from Josue. He feels like a hired gun. He feels like he's just spinning his wheels in Parliament.
Pando, we're glad we were able to catch up with you, because we wanted to pick your brain about some things. Last week we saw you stand face to face with Pierre Cinema after that battle royal. You looked him in the eyes and raised his arm high in victory. We know just how resilient Pierre can be, and your championship bout at Toxicity won't be any different. So why did you settle for a peaceful resolve?
Peaceful resolve? What? Was I supposed to jump him after a match like that? Was I supposed to get a leg up on Pierre so I could take him on at the end of the month? Listen, Roger. I know what responsibilities I have as the World Heavyweight Champion. I know what this championship represents. Takes a lot of discipline to be a champion like myself. Look at how things went last month with Jedi. I respected him until he gave me a reason to put my hands on him. He disrespected this championship just to turn me loose, and it made that match much more personal for the both of us. I'm not looking for any advantage against Pierre. I already have it all. The speed, the pure athleticism, the size, and the strength. I've been the champion longer than him at this point, and I'm not going to rest on my laurels until the 27th. That's why I want a challenge ahead of time. A match next week against the Rhinestone Cowboy. The sauce. When the dust settles, we'll see if Pierre chooses the high ground.
Strong words from the World Heavyweight Champion. Not only is he looking to stay active ahead of Toxicity, as he throws down the challenge to the Rhinestone Cowboy, the sauce for next week. But he's keeping eyes in the back of his head, especially after what we saw unfold between him and Jedi in the weeks leading up to our previous monthly special event, Collision Course. What a bloodbath that match was. And speaking of the fights, right, we'll be seeing him return to the ring next week on War Zone. As he continues his chase for glory, as he looks to reestablish some dominance. And you can't bring up a term like dominance without mentioning Bunker Hill. K-Dogg, Solo, they had a firm vice grip on the tag team division for such a short amount of time. They were able to reestablish and shake up the totem pole here in KPW, being able to wrestle away the tag team championships away from the First Nation. And we'll be seeing both of those men in action later on tonight. Heartthrob Popo, of course, our KPW American champion. He put up one hell of a fight against the Misfit Bob just 1 week ago on War Zone. Popo looking for new challengers, and we saw that he was looking to enter his name in the lottery for some sort of opportunity against the American champion. The rumblings we heard between Parliament. You know that Oliver English, he's been very unfocused as of late. He hasn't been successful in the World Heavyweight division yet. We saw him come up short at Collision Course, refusing to bail out his tag team partner. And now he has his eyes set on the KPW American Championship. K-Dogg, Frank Glizzo, the two legal men in this bout. K-Dogg getting sent inside out with that clothesline. Getting a roundhouse kick from the pit bull. Bunker Hill looks to retrieve some weapons, some foreign objects. Hugo gets in the tag. Coney Island, I've never been one to judge a book by its cover. But what in God's name are they wearing? Do they think that, that this apparel, this attire, do they think that that is fashionable? Do they think it's trendy? Do you think they're hip and they're trying to fit in? We've seen them go through such a change, such a radical change in appearance over the last several months. Swinging tattered up jeans. Chaps. Braiding their hair. Adorning all these gold chains. And Solo just executed a headlock takeover using that chain as leverage. Hurricane Rana onto Frank Glizzo. The Scrapyard Saint. Looking to maintain control here tonight. As we understand, Popo went to the board of directors. In just 1 week's time, we will be seeing his partners in crime here, K-Dogg, Solo. We will see them in action once again in tag team action on Warzone in just 1 week's time. This time against a locked-in #1 contenders for the KPW Tag Team Championships. Bloom, Bilko, the Scheme. Only a matter of time to see if things will be contested in international waters per se. You know, Bunker Hill has the backup of Popo, Popcorn Poppy if needed. But the Scheme has that strong alliance with the director, Steven Gielberg. And he can have quite the pivotal impact on the outcome of that bout in just 1 week's time. Wristlock reversal by K-Dogg, showcasing that pure athleticism on display. Guillotine drop from Frank Glizzo. K-Dogg stuck between both members of Coney Island X-Prezz. Big knee lift from the Pitbull. We're going to follow things up with a leg lock. And we can confirm here, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news from the KPW Board of Directors. They have officially greenlit the challenge laid out by our World Heavyweight Champion moments ago, the Siberian Silver Bear Pando. Next week in our main event, Pando goes one-on-one against the Sauce. K-Dogg looking to put things to rest here tonight, however, with a cross-face chicken wing. Hugo has that foot scouted on K-Dogg. K-Dogg starting to favor that leg. Step up Enziguri from K-Dogg. And rain or shine, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be seeing both participants, both parties in the KPW Twitch Championship bout on the 27th in action next week on Warzone. So we understand Ray Lucion, our reigning, defending KPW Twitch champion, will be in non-title action. And that'll be his first appearance here on Warzone. But also to come in 1 week's time, whoever wins in our main event here tonight, whether it's Shuko, Kabuki, or Tape, they'll be going up one-on-one against the Diamond Dragon, Opulence, in singles action. So looking to roll him up with that Hurricane Rana. And what an intervention by Hugo, saving the bout for his team. And what a hellacious clothesline by K-Dogg. as he looks to keep Hugo at bay. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Solo, buying him enough time to get in a tag. K-Dogg freshening up a bit. Double clothesline by Coney Island. Another step-up enziguri by K-Dogg. Putting those educated feet to good use. Swinging DDT. And he's feeling the heat here tonight. It might be a cold night in hell outside the Kumite Forum, but he's looking to heat things up here. Chicken wing suplex. And he secures the pinfall. Locking those shoulders into place. Locking that arm into place.
Your ass better call somebody.
And Frank Lizzo had nowhere to go but down. What a hell of a way to secure the victory here tonight for the Pitbull and Bunker Hill at large. What we are seeing here in recent weeks is the reawakening of Bunker Hill. They've been going through some tumultuous ups and downs as of late, but they kept their solidarity in check. They kept their eyes on the prize. And it's nights like this one here tonight that can maintain and even further secure the dominance of Bunker Hill. Congratulations to Solo and K-Dogg in one hell of a showing here tonight. And coming up next, we'll be seeing one hell of a rematch on our hands for the first time since August of 2024. Cory Sinclair will be going one-on-one against the War Machine, Slardy. As I understand, we have cameras rolling backstage once again. This time, it appears that we have another representative of Bunker Hill. With the cameras rolling, nobody else to accompany him. It appears that he's looking to have a word here with the First Nation. Let's get some cameras on this. Guys in the back, let's get some eyes on this.
Popcorn Poppy, I would ask you what the hell you could possibly want, and we're gonna play ball only because it doesn't look like the rest of your boys are on standby. Slardy has a match coming up, so make it short and sweet.
I'm Mang. I came to you by myself to let y'all know I have nothing to hold back. I've been thinking about the past. Thinking about how I've finally steered the ship right. I've won championships. I've earned the respect of the people. I got Bunker Hill rolling with me, Mang. But there's still one tang I need before I can really take it to the next level. I want reparations for when y'all broke my neck last year.
You demand what? After all this time, with everything we've accomplished away from each other. It's insane. Tonight just seems to be all about history now. Slardy has to fight Cory Sinclair, and he's more deranged than ever before. Now you want reparations from us because Slardy broke your neck all that time ago.
I need you to understand this. It's been my dream to become a champion of the world. I respect y'all for what you've become since that time. but I won't let that glass ceiling over my head keep me down. Slardy, I know you'd want the same if Pando needed a new contender. You went through hell and back with that madman. All I came here for was a wager. We both have a chance to get closer to our goals, and I never got to fight you one-on-one, Slardy. Even if I lose, I'll understand that you've been the better Mang. Just some time to think about, and since Cory is on a short fuse lately, I'll do what I can if he crosses the line again.
Popcorn Poppy making one hell of a case for himself here. We know that it's been his dream, his pipe dream for quite some time to become a world heavyweight champion. And it looks like he's been trying to realize that dream week in and week out as of late, but he's had that albatross weighing over his head. He still can't get out of his mind what Slardy did to him all that time ago when he broke Popcorn Poppy's neck with that buckle bomb. And that was a strong word of Popcorn Poppy to use. He knew that it would get the attention, not just Shuko, but Slardy as well. Reparations. That is what he wants. And can you blame Shuko or Slardy for trying to brush that off? It's been so far removed. Slardy, Shuko, they have other goals in mind at this point. They're not looking to reflect on the past. They're trying to make the best of their present right now.
4, 5.
Only wheel kick from Cory Sinclair.
7, 8, 9.
And whether or not Slardy realizes this in the moment here, the man that he is across the ring from, that is not the same man that he waged war with over the course of the summer last year. That's not the same man that he waged war with over the Twitch Championship inside a steel cage at our first ever edition of Summer Spark. And Cory Sinclair, he's got quite the history in this as well. He's quite a connecting piece between Popcorn Poppy and the First Nation. He was there the very night that Popcorn Poppy took those buckle bombs. Cory was a bit luckier that night, able to walk away. A bit battered, a bit bruised. They still made the most out of it. Camel clutch by Slardy. And there's that signature barbed wire 2x4.
1, 2.
Of Slardy, and Cory Sinclair just launched it into the crowd. That poor fan, whoever got rocked with that barbed wire 2x4, they're definitely gonna need to sign a couple waivers here tonight. Cory Sinclair, he is unhinged. He is as violent as he's ever been. He has just been nothing but a menace. As he just continues to spiral further and further into darkness. What we saw over the last several months between him and Chris Billy, that really really changed him as a whole, as a person. It radicalized him. It made him it made him snap. Cory Sinclair on the top rope. Looking for a dragon attack, but Slardy ducks it. Chin breaker from Slardy. Irish whip. Leapfrog from Cory Sinclair. Looking for that flying cross-body chop, but Slardy ducks it again, and Cory gets sent flying from one side of the ring to the other. His own momentum used against him. And Cory is just resting on that laurel, just cycling back to those rolling wheel kicks. And now Cory going after the eyes of Slardy. Snap DDT from Cory Sinclair, looking for the cover. A kick out at one by Slardy. Waistlock reversal by Slardy, raking the back. Deadlift German suplex from the mat, overhead, and back tumbling down towards the center of the ring. And as we understand, Cory Sinclair, the sauce, both of these men, they've been on an upward trend. Cory's quality of victories over the past several months, they have warranted one hell of a position for Cory. As rain or shine, he may have secured himself a championship contender match once again in the very near future. But if this isn't an opportunity that Slardy would love to have for himself here. Another kick out from Slardy. And wouldn't this just be a bit of deja vu here tonight? Slardy, a man that was very consistently dominant back in the day when he fought Cory Sinclair. Cory Sinclair now evening the score, if not going one up on Slardy here tonight. Big drop kick in the corner. Open palm strike from Slardy. Another Irish whip, trying to tire out the big man. Cory rushes over to rake the eyes of Slardy over that top rope once again. And rolling wheel kick, neutralizing the War Machine. And just when you think every opportunity that presents itself for Slardy to try and like go on the back foot, to try and retreat, to try and disengage with this maniac, with this psychopath, he keeps going. He keeps up the good fight. There is no fear in the heart of Slardy. Side suplex from Slardy. He is doing his absolute best to keep up with Cory Sinclair. Cory Sinclair just one step ahead of him, one step quicker than him. Slardy, he's a well-disciplined brawler here in KPW, one of the best. But what makes Cory Sinclair so dangerous, what made him so well-renowned as a striker here in KPW, is just the speed, the velocity of these strikes. It's hard for any man to keep up with. Big spine on the pine from Slardy. Slardy looking for a stun gun. Draping Cory's neck over that top rope. Opening up for the silencer. Drills him. Drags him away from the ropes. But did he take too much time?
2, 3, pinfall.
Or did he do everything he had to secure the victory here tonight? We know how Slardy and Shuko operate. We know that they are willing to get the job done by any means necessary. And what a strategy, what a play by Slardy at the end. Utilizing that stun gun to soften up and put more strain on the neck and collarbones of Cory Sinclair. Opening him up for even more devastating than usual silencer, that padded standing lariat. Just knocking Cory Sinclair senseless. Cory Sinclair back on his feet. Realizing that he's just been got. Cory Sinclair taking out his frustrations now. And this is exactly how this all started between Cory and Slardy all that time ago. Except Slardy was the man initiating these attacks back then. Meteor strike inbound on Slardy. He's looking to go for the kill here. He's looking to put Slardy out of commission. Set him up for the oil spill. And look who is ready to march down to the ring. Popcorn Poppy looking to keep his word from earlier. Looking to be a man of his word. Sizing up Cory Sinclair. And this would be a golden opportunity for Popcorn Poppy to get even with Slardy. And he picks Cory Sinclair. He's picking a fight with the King of Stego style. And he is just letting those fists fly into the face of that deranged lunatic in Cory Sinclair. And Cory Sinclair, he just doesn't know when to quit. He doesn't know when to walk away. And Popcorn Poppy's looking to make him pay for it. Remember what Popcorn Poppy said? He wanted reparations. He's not gonna want that from a man that's put out of commission. He doesn't want Slardy to go through the same fate that he did. That makes him quite a man of nobility. And here he is looking to snap, crackle, and pop as he drops Cory Sinclair. Tatum back up, looking to go 2 for 2.
Poppy, this clearly means a lot to you that you get some closure. Who knows where Slardy would be if you didn't show up? We'll be in town in 2 weeks for a summit. Don't be late.
Shuko! Microphone in hand! Just gave Popcorn Poppy his word! They balked at the idea of even entertaining the reparations. This Popcorn Poppy wanted to close a chapter of his career, close a chapter of his life. Slardy and Shuko, they understand that very well. They busted their asses off here in KPW to get to the positions of power that they maintain here today as one of the most dominant tag teams in KPW history. In 2 weeks' time, Popcorn Poppy will get a summit with them here on War Zone in the center of the ring. Shuko marches down to ringside. Full gear, he's ready to go. He's ready for the main event here tonight. A Twitch Championship Contender. Triple threat action. As it will be Shuko, Kabuki, and Tape. One of these three men will be able to take on Revolucion for the Twitch Championship at Toxicity. Shuko, Slardy, Popcorn Poppy looking to wheel and deal with a level of chivalry, a level of respect, a level of honor that we didn't see from Cory Sinclair. And we almost certainly won't see that from the role model, the self-proclaimed role model, Tape. Tape earning this opportunity last week on Warzone, going up against Opulence in quite a dominant affair, and joining them to round out this triple threat, hard-boiled Kabuki. A man that was supposed to get a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity through that Battle Royal. Roger trying to conduct an interview before the before that Battle Royal. God knows why. But it certainly left Kabuki open for attack, and that's what we saw when we saw the vigilante, the icon, the man they called Ding, take out Kabuki. As we still don't know what Ding's true intentions are here in KPW. We don't know why he chose now to make his presence felt once again. The board of directors made quite the intervention for Kabuki. They made quite the compromise. They had allowed him into this now triple threat contender for the KPW Twitch Championship, a match that would have just originally been Shuko versus Tape in our main event. Shuko tossing Tape to the outside and down to the floor. Singling out Kabuki.
1.
I want to tumble down to the outside. Shuko takes. Kabuki, he's all amped up. He's all fired up. He's got one hell of an opportunity to make things right here tonight. At least walk away with something. Looks like he ain't gonna get no world title shot anytime soon. But if he could beat Tape, if he could beat Shuko here tonight, he'll be going to Toxicity on the 27th, where he could await and take on the KPW Twitch champion, Rey Lucion. Side suplex from Kabuki. Shuko, Tape, both singling out Kabuki. Kabuki's still the freshest man in the bunch. Big boot from Tape. Takes down Kabuki off that vertical base and sent tumbling. Shuko looking to move in with that German suplex. Kabuki now moving in on Shuko with that backbreaker. And this is all the intrigue that of a triple threat battle. You never know what sort of temporary alliances can form in the heat of the moment. It's all about survival here. Total elimination on Shuko. Senton from Kabuki. Tape looking to finish off Shuko with that moonsault. Getting some serious height on that endeavor. And that gave Shuko plenty of time to get the knees up. And who knows what kind of condition, what kind of shape Shuko would be in had Tape connected with that moonsault. Flapjack from Shuko. Open palm strike from Kabuki, picking his opportunities, picking his strikes whenever he can. There's plenty of wisdom in that, knowing when to hold and knowing when to fold. He's got one hell of a gamble here tonight, but one thing he has going for him compared to Shuko and Tape, he's got free play courtesy of the KPW Board of Directors. Tape and Shuko, they've earned their opportunities. They fought hard to get to this position. Kabuki looking to steal the pin here. And Tape pulls him right off of Shuko. Tandem offense. Kabuki hitting Shuko with that pop-up cutter. Master stroke. We're gonna go 2 for 2. He didn't think Shuko was gonna get back up from that. This is damn near a mugging for Shuko. This has been quite an eventful night for sure here tonight on Warzone. First Nation, no strangers to this. As Kabuki tries to sneak in yet another pin on Shuko. Tape right there to break things up. Tape turning his attention to Kabuki. Ladies and gentlemen, main event action underway. Triple threat Twitch Championship Contender. One of these three men will be getting a Twitch Championship match at TOXICITY, our next monthly special event on the 27th.
5.
Against Rey Lucion. And it's looking like Shuko might not be that man fit for the job. At the rate that Tape and Kabuki are singling him out here. Back elbow takes Kabuki down from his vertical base here. Shuko trying to intervene, trying to get a piece of payback on either one of these men. Back heel kick from Tape. Shuko taken down once again with a total elimination. Tape opening up on Kabuki with a flurry of strikes, a flurry of forearms.
1, 2.
Arm drag onto Shuko. And in case you missed it, folks, earlier on tonight we've seen a real serious night of bell-to-bell action. Oliver English taking the fight to Nick Flawless in our opener, with the Monarch emerging victorious against Greek Machismo. And we saw in tag team action, Bunker Hill, K-Dogg and Solo taking on the Coney Island X-Prezz, Hugo Johnson, Frank Glizzo, in a victorious, almost dominant effort. Moments ago, we saw a highly anticipated rematch. Cory Sinclair versus Slardy for the first time since August of 2024. Cory Sinclair had the match won, and then Slardy pulled out the mother of all comebacks. Slardy emerged victorious. And Cory Sinclair went for collateral damage after the bell, only to be stopped by Popcorn Poppy. Here we are, main event underway. One of these three men will get a Twitch Championship match at the end of the month. Headbutts to the back of the head of Tape. And what a vicious knife edge chop from Sigma Shuko. Kabuki going right back to those headbutts. Shuko singling out the legs of Tape. This could be a solid strategy if he could lock in that lion tamer. That high angle Boston Crab. Shuko getting some life back into him. But Kabuki's trying to cut off that circulation. Tape looking to steal one. Shuko back on his own 2 feet. Taunting Kabuki. I've been able to take some of your best shots here tonight, and I'm still on my own 2 feet. And I think the trajectory of that might have changed drastically
3.
after that suplex to the outside.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Count of 10. 20 count rules in KPW. The official slap thigh Jones calling the action inside the ring. Watch you stroke cradle from Sigma Shuko. What a vertical suplex courtesy of Tape. Kabuki constantly intervening in Tape's offense here tonight. Looking to steal any sort of pinfall attempt that he possibly can. Death Valley driver, and now it's Shuko taking Kabuki's pin. A taste of his own medicine. And still to think, in just 1 week's time, one of these three men will be going on to face the Diamond Dragon, Opulence, in singles action here on Warzone. What sort of condition are they going to be in for that match? What happens if these guys go to a time limit draw here tonight? Release German suplex by Shuko. Tape moving in with the reverse sitting armbar. Dragon sleeper cinched in by Kabuki, but Shuko's right there to break things up once again. Kabuki going up top. Leg drop. Draping that leg over the chest of Shuko. And that impact, courtesy of Kabuki, that sounded like a gunshot.
Break.
Tape trying to gouge the eyes of Kabuki. The face paint on Kabuki starting to wear dry. Starting to fade out. Spinning back elbow denied by Shuko. Moonsault onto Tape. And now he's looking to lock in that line tamer on Kabuki. Tape's out cold. He couldn't break it up. And that was one hell of an opportunity Shuko created for himself. But unfortunately for him, Kabuki was able to reach the ropes.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Regal Plex on the floor.
9, 10.
Shuko looking for a tope suicida. Nobody home. Kabuki making the most out of this moment.
14.
Locking in that ankle lock.
16.
Count of 16.
17.
Shuko's the only man inside the ring.
18.
And we've seen this unfold before when one man was left outside the ring. When that count reaches 20, they get disqualified from the bout. And in this triple threat match, it becomes amended. It becomes a singles match.
1.
And that is something that almost happened here tonight with a role model Tape. And what a self-serving, what an arrogant name For Tape, nobody declared him a role model. Nobody looks up to this guy. Kabuki, Shuko. Looking to move in, looking to circle around Tape like a pack of wolves. Kabuki getting his pin broken up once again. Shuko. What the hell is he thinking here? Tandem offense from Tape and Shuko. Shuko trying to buy himself some time to recuperate. Kabuki's out cold. Looking for that double underhook backbreaker. Lion salt from Shuko. Irish whip sending Kabuki off the ropes, ricocheting right into a back elbow. And look at the war these three men are waging. Just for the chance, just for the opportunity to call themselves a Twitch champion. That's even if they make it to Toxicity at this rate. Uranagi, but Kabuki tries to take advantage of it. Covered by Tape, he's looking to steal it. And Shuko breaks it up. Getting his affairs in order just in the nick of time. Suplex by Tape. Kabuki moving it on Tape. Tape had his eyes focused on Shuko. He didn't see Kabuki right behind him, waiting in the wings, waiting for that perfect time to strike. An open palm strike takes Tape off of his feet. Release German suplex. And these three men, they are absolutely spent. You can see the welts beginning to form on the backs of Shuko and Tape. And Shuko's had a rough go of things in this bout here tonight, but he is still keeping that fight alive. Kabuki powering out of that Boston Crab. Missile drop kick denied by Tape. And now Tape ascends to the top rope. Shotgun drop kick denied. These three men, they all have each other so well scouted at this point. Something has to give here. A cutter from Kabuki. Master stroke on Tape. Cover. And Shuko breaks it up immediately. What is it going to take to get the job done? All three of these men are giving it their all here tonight. They're 110%. Schoolboy attempt by Sigma Shuko. And yet another breakup by Tape. Tandem strikes from Tape and Kabuki on Shuko. As these two continue to infight amongst each other. Kabuki looking to go for a Boston Crab. Tape powers out of it. Outside suplex from Shuko. Shuko turning his attention to Kabuki. Kabuki smacks Shuko away, swatting him like a fly. Total elimination on Shuko. And Shuko's getting right back up. Tape attempts the German suplex, but Kabuki lands on his 2 feet. Schoolboy. And Shuko breaks up the pin. All 3 of these men, they are absolutely struggling to find that perfect opportunity to strike. Roundhouse kick courtesy of Tape. Shuko holding back the arms of Kabuki, having nowhere to run, no way to brace himself for impact. Spike pile driver. Swatting away Shuko once again, and now Kabuki is trying to go after the eyes of Shuko. This is a war here tonight. These 3 men, they have 30 minutes to secure that opportunity. They have 30 minutes to get to Toxicity. But Shuko have in mind here. Shuko. Full Nelson suplex, and what a bridging attempt. But he just couldn't maintain that advantage. He couldn't maintain that torque. He was just too exhausted from the wear and tear of this bout. Tape looking to sneak one out here. And Opulence, he has to be loving this. He's gonna have one hell of a night next week on Warzone when he has to take on the winner of this bout. If one is even decided.
1, 2.
That's the scariest part about all of this.
4, 5,
Shuko breaking up that single leg Boston Crab with a
7,
plancha to the outside.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Kabuki looking to find some sort of weapon. I think he settled on a pool cue.
1.
And Kabuki whacks Shuko with that pole cue. He's looking to keep the pressure up.
5.
He's looking to put some serious hurt on both of these fellow combatants.
9, 10, 11, 12.
And Kabuki, he's still looking for more weapons. He wasn't satisfied with that pull cue. He had to return to the ring before he had any risk of being counted out here. Double suplex onto Tape. Kabuki looking to steal it. Shuko, he's all amped up. Powerbomb, and he's picking him back up for a second one. Cinching in that line tamer, this could be it. And Kabuki bailed out by the role model. He might have somebody that looks up to him after all. Irish whip reversal by Shuko. Shuko, he is feeling it here tonight. He is getting back into that minutia. Dragon sleeper, and Kabuki steals it. Tape struggling to get back to his feet, only realizing too little, too late that Kabuki had went for the kill. Singling out Shuko as the odd man out. Cinching in a dragon sleeper. And now hard-boiled Kabuki. He has made the absolute most out of this compromise. Courtesy of the board of directors, now he gets an opportunity to take on Rey Lucion for the Twitch Championship on December 27th. Toxicity, our next monthly special event. This was quite an uphill battle for Shuko. From the moment the bell rang, he was singled out almost immediately. He very much had Slardy on his mind. He had Popcorn Poppy on his mind. Kabuki looking to prove something here tonight. He didn't want to be brushed aside. He didn't want what Dane did to him last week to weigh him down any further. He's picked one hell of a night for the KPW locker room to take notice, because now Kabuki advances to Toxicity, and he also advances to another match next week on War Zone, where he'll be taking on the Diamond Dragon Opulence. And that is all the time we've had here tonight, folks. I've been Tapey Styles, the only man that can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And we will see you in 1 week's time for another exciting edition of War Zone. Good night, everybody.